13 tips to develop a growth mindset. Welcome back to this live stream of mine that I do every day, Mountain Standard Time, 9 a.m., most every day. This is the only live stream on the internet where you can learn how to get the twin win of succeeding in business while winning at life, winning at home, and learn how to stop existing and start living. So let's jump into it. First of all, if you're joining me live, give me a hashtag live. If you're joining me on replay, give me a hashtag replay. And let's talk about these 13 tips to develop a growth mindset. Again, I got my notes up here, so if I'm looking off in that direction, that's where my screen is. Your comments are also up there, but I'm ignoring them. Please leave comments, leave thoughts, leave your feelings. I will ignore them right now because I want to stick to the message, so we're not here all day. However, I will get back to them later today, so please leave your thoughts and comments. I really appreciate it when you do that. So let's dive right into it. 13 tips to develop a growth mindset. So now that we've discussed those benefits of a growth mindset, we've discussed the realities of one, we've discussed the myths. Let's walk through some of the tips to help you develop a growth mindset. So number one is to determine where you sit now. Okay, so it's just like a GPS. You can't get to where you want to go if you don't know where you're at. You have to have a starting point, and you got to be honest. I mean, listen, guys, this is brutal honesty time. You got to sit down. I recommend writing it out. Determine where you're at right now with your mindset. Are you in a negative mindset? Are you in a growth mindset? Are you in a fixed mindset? Are you in a positive mindset? There's lots of different mindsets, and figure out where you are on that spectrum. Remember, I've talked about this spectrum twice now in the myths and the realities, that we're not all it's not binary. It's not just black or white. Are you a little bit growth mindset in some things and fixed in others? Do you consider yourself more or less in the growth mindset pool? Or are you looking to make sure that you stay in the growth mindset pool? Or would you describe yourself as having more of a fixed mindset? Again, where are you on that spectrum? Tip number two is explore why you want to develop a growth mindset. Why are you even interested in that? You need to help your students explore that, as far as, it might be, well, because the teacher tells me I need to, or because mom and dad say I need to, right? That was my teenager voice, by the way. So, but help them explore why, help them explore, you want to be better. You want to do better. You want to do better in life. So why? Why do you want to do better? You can phrase it that way versus just saying a growth mindset. What is it about a growth mindset that motivates you to change? What is it about having a better life that motivates you to change? What benefits do you see a growth mindset bringing to your life? What are the benefits of having, of the life that you dream of, the better life? What are the benefits of that? How does that help you? How does that help others? Understanding this will help you to gain a purpose. You guys know I love talking about purpose, which is why I named my company The Purpose Driven Co. It'll help you to give you a purpose and get you through the difficult stages of developing this new worldview, this new attitude of having a growth mindset. So make sure that you guys are identifying why. So that's number two. Number three is find examples of others who have developed growth mindsets. Again, you want to change your story, but sometimes you need help by getting motivation from somebody else. Start talking to your friends, your family, colleagues about the growth mindset. See if any of them have it, if any of them know how to develop it, what tips they have, and Google it. Start finding your heroes. I mean, we have the internet. We can find any hero that we want for ourselves and for our children. See if anybody out there, any stories can provide valuable insights into developing a growth mindset. Number four is change your perspective on failure. So I talked about this in the last video yesterday, and you need to start viewing failure not as a sign of inability, but as a process of learning. So stop viewing it as a sign of inability and start viewing it as a process of learning. Saying, okay, that way didn't work, right? Or it kind of worked, but we only got halfway to where we needed to go. Whatever the case might be, you need to analyze it and stop. My teenagers have a problem with it. Is that, you get a little correction to them and they immediately, well, that's failure. And I'm like, no, guys, I'm literally giving you the keys to the kingdom. Like, if you do this A plus B plus C better, you'll get D, you'll get the thing you want. Just do this better, right? And let me help you to identify how you can do this better. And they sometimes take it as criticism and shut down. So we got to be careful about that. But if we can view it from the point of learning and help our students and our children learn it from the viewpoint of learning of, criticism doesn't mean that you shouldn't ever try. What it means is here's a way that didn't work. And sometimes the criticism literally gives you what you need to do to make it better. So nobody starts out on any project being the perfect example of the goal, right? Nobody just goes from first step to goal and done. It's always a process and a journey. So even the world's greatest athletes, artists, and business people have always had to take this journey. So that's enough about number 4. Number 5 is understand your own limitations. So we're talking about a growth mindset. So why would I bring up limitations? Because there is a reality of our limitations. So recognize that some things will be beyond what you can achieve. Okay. Some things will be beyond what you can, your best thinking will just not get you there. And that's okay. This helps you to set realistic goals. Now, I always talk about risky goals. So we want risky, we want things to stretch us, but we don't want delusional, right? We want to get into the discomfort zone. We want to get out of the comfort zone, into the discomfort zone, but we want to avoid the delusional zone, and it will help you to understand that some endeavors, are just not in the cards for us, that something else would be better. Or maybe a different route. Understanding our limitations also helps us to understand our route. I think about, we've heard inspiring stories, and one that I can't think of his name right now. If you know the name of this guy, please leave it in the comments below. But he was a mountain climber. And after an accident or something, he lost his legs from the knees down. And the doctor said, well, you're going to have to give up your climbing. Now, if he had thought the only way was to go up the mountain with legs, then with his natural legs, then yeah, absolutely, he'd have to do it. That's it, you're done, right? However, the growth mindset in him said, okay, so that's my limitation. I can't do it with regular legs, so we'll avoid that path. Let's figure out a different one. He actually went on to develop legs, prosthetics that helped him to climb, and has now helped hundreds and thousands of other people with the same situation be able to climb and live out their dreams. So again, recognizing your limitations isn't necessarily saying it can't happen or that it shouldn't happen, but sometimes it just means there's a different route. Number 6 in developing a growth mindset. I've kind of been going on here for a little bit, but number 6 is to notice how you speak and how you act. So be cognizant of the words you use and the way you act. Why is this? Because our brain is always listening. Our brain is always on. It's always listening. And it hears what we say out loud, and it hears what we tell it. And here's the other thing. The brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So when we imagine failure, when we speak failure, the brain says, okay, we're going to fail, and it thinks that's reality, and then it's set. So notice how you talk about talent and skill. In particular, when we're talking about a growth mindset, do you find yourself saying things like, I'm no good at this, or he's just naturally talented at that? Swap those phrases out for things like, I'm not great at this yet, right? That's a growth mindset. That yet, just that one little word, that one little swap, it changes it. I'll give you an example. When I was told I would never work again, I kept telling myself, there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing I can do. And my mindset went worse and worse. And my physical body actually got worse and worse. My physical health. I swapped out one word. Instead of saying there is nothing I can do, I said there is something I can do. There is something I can do. There is something. And all of a sudden my mind started to work in ways of, okay, so just like that mountain climber, right? So instead of I can't work, it was there's something I can do. There's something I got to be able to do. And my brain started looking for it, and it found it. So notice how others around you speak and act as well. And then seek out those who have growth mindsets and foster your relationships with them. Seek out those that have the growth mindsets and build those relationships so that you don't have energy vampires around you. Find the people that are thinking that way. They might be further along. They might not be quite as far as you, but growth mindsets feed each other. So finding more people with a growth mindset will help feed each other. That's why you're probably here, is because you like what I say and it helps feed you. That's why I follow some of the people I follow, and I'm a mentor, that I've chosen certain people to be my mentor. There's certain people that I hang out with in my mastermind group because they help foster my growth mindset. So that's number 6. Number 7, we got to get through these, guys. Number 7, learn about brain plasticity. Oh my gosh, guys, you know I love neuro stuff and learning about the brain. So if you're the kind of person who loves learning about how the human brain works, then consider diving into the world of neuroplasticity. If you're like me at all, this will give you a neat psychological perspective on how the growth mindset actually works. And so you start cultivating and developing a growth mindset by seeing your challenges as opportunities, reflecting each day on what you failed at and what you learned from that failure. Not just that I failed, but what did I learn? You stop seeking approval from others and identify opportunities to celebrate the success of others. So those are some ways that you can develop your learning about your brain plasticity and growing. So that was number 7, learn about brain plasticity. So now I'm going to dive into some of those things that I just listed, but number 8 is to see your challenges as opportunities. The obstacle is the way. Ryan Holiday, great writer and writes about the Stoics, wrote a book called The Obstacle is the Way. And really, it is a great way to live, to see your challenges just as growth opportunities, as obstacles to be overcome, versus seeing them as walls and challenges that just, well, that's it, I give up, I'm done. Reflecting on each day on what you failed at and then what you've learned. So don't just stop at, I journal every day. Don't just stop at reflecting on what you failed at. Stop and reflect on what did I fail at, but what did I learn from that, and write that out. So that was number 9. Number 10 is to stop seeking approval from others. So these are all things I mentioned under brain plasticity, but now we're going a little bit deeper. Stop seeking approval from others. So you need to understand that seeking approval from others, especially people who are not doing what you're doing, if they are not the man in the arena, then their opinion shouldn't matter of you. Okay? Stop seeking your approval from others. Do what you know is right. Do what you feel is right. If you're running a business, it's great. I have a mastermind group. I absolutely love my mastermind group. Brendan Bouchard and Dean Graziosi are the leaders of it. It's their mastermind, and the people that are in it, some of you are probably watching this. Love you guys, okay? But sometimes when I ask for help, it's great to get a little bit of feedback, but then I have to remember that they're not my ideal clients. If they were my ideal clients, they'd be working with me already, okay? So I could get advice about business and about who to hire, how to hire, what to do. But sometimes when it gets really specific, I need to just say, okay, listen, I love them and I know they love me and that's why they're giving me this feedback, but they're not my ideal client. I know my ideal client better than they do. So stop seeking approval from others. This is something to help your kids to understand as well, especially when it comes to peer pressure. Stop seeking approval from others. A growth mindset does not seek approval from others, okay? You might seek advice, you might seek help, but you do not seek approval. There's a big difference. What was that? Number 10. Number 11, identify opportunities to celebrate the success of others. So this is a big key indicator of your neuroplasticity and how well you're coming along. If you can leave the jealousy aside and start celebrating the success, that is one thing I love about our mastermind group. I just don't feel like any jealousy or competition. It's literally like, let's celebrate your win. Let's celebrate you. And so if you can do that, that is definitely a growth mindset. You also need to help your kids do this because they need to understand that it's okay for others to win. It's okay for others to have a win. It's okay for someone else to come in first, that we can't all be the greatest at everything. And so it will help them to develop that growth mindset. Number 12 is to focus on rewarding actions, not traits. Let me stop there. Rewarding actions, not traits. You can help others develop a growth mindset too by praising their efforts and their actions rather than their inherent traits. So you can praise how well they prepared for a talk and delivered it, not the inherent trait of, wow, you've got a great speaking voice, right? Because now you are praising something they have no control over. They have control over how they prepare, how they deliver a talk, how they show respect to maybe a debating opponent or whatever it might be. But just their natural booming voice does not merit praise because they were born with that. They don't have any control over that. If your child brings home a stellar result on their pop quiz, appropriate praise would be something like, wow, you did so well. You must have put a lot of effort into studying for this quiz. You did so well. You must have put a lot of effort into your homework and into your studying. Versus, wow, you did so well. You must be very smart. Okay? Don't praise them being smart. Praise their effort for studying. Praise their effort for learning and growing. And number 13, start using the word yet more often. Y-E-T, yet. Start using the word yet more often. This is a simple one. It's so simple. Just add the word yet to a lot of things. Whenever you catch yourself thinking, I'm not very good at this, just say, add the word yet. Right? That is so simple to create a growth mindset. I'm not very good at this yet. I'm not very good at swimming yet. I'm not very good at writing a book yet. I'm not very good at making Facebook videos yet. Okay, so that's the final one, and that is probably one of the most powerful ones. I hope you guys stuck around to the end. If you did, please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel and to my videos, to my social media, which is right there in that little corner. Make sure you guys are checking that out. Love you guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We're going to keep talking about a growth mindset and continue this conversation. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.